Hi everyone, thank you for stopping in Freebird Spirit YouTube channel. Appreciate you coming by. I want to give a shout out real quick to all the subscribers. Thank you so much for coming on and hanging out and all your beautiful comments and community. Love it here. So check out the description below and see when we go live. So you can join the community there. Also, I want to give a real grateful thanks to all the donations and all the thumbs up. Thank you so much, and we'll get started. This is a viewer request for this reading, and it's regarding the dog slaughterhouses in South Korea. They have made huge strides in the past few years, but they still do exist, and there is a small portion of the country who still practice the slaughter and eating of dogs. But it is a small portion of it, so don't think Koreans are all into eating dogs. It's not true. It's really down in 2018, I think they said 2017 or 18, it was only 13% of the population. So it's not a huge part of the population, but these farms are still there, and it's like, it's not that you want to go in and make another part of the world change their beliefs or their systems and whatnot, but it's kind of like the slaughterhouses are so horrendous and such poor conditions, and it's just there's such cruelty, and that really does bring up that as well. And of course, Americans, we don't want to, our dogs are our family, so we see it like that. And again, 90% of the population there does as well. They are against it, right? But there is still that 10% that still see it as a practice. So all that to say, and it was only 2018 when it was actually put into law here in the United States that you could no longer eat dogs or cats. That was 2018. It was not in law until then here in the United States, where we feel like animals are are people, right? So all that to say is let's check it out. So her question in regards to this is kind of like, when is it, are they going to be able to fully pass a law there as well to make it against the law to have these farms and allow people to consume dogs food there. So let's take a look at that question. I want to pull an overall, and what I'm hearing is, this has been, we just made that law in 2018, that it was against the law to have any of those practices here or any of those farms and all that here in 2018, and that's not even part of our history or normal practices here. And so you're talking about South Korea, where for generation and generation, this has been a part of their practice. So they didn't view, dogs the same way as we do ever here. Not ever. I'm just saying the old school, that was the norm. And so it's just been in the recent years, since I think 2000, I think it's around 2000 something, right around the beginning of 2000s, you know, when we started doing the Olympics and stuff there, we had some Olympics there where it became known, and they began to, you know, understand the differences and stuff like that. I mean, always there's parts of the population who never had those practices, right? But in general, as a whole, the country began to make those changes. So it's only been a short period of time where here in the United States, it really wasn't part of that, you know. All that to say is to change to make that law across the entire land, that it's against the law to participate in the consumption of dog, when that's been not a thing. It's not been an issue, you know, for them. For us in 2018, for them to make that switch was like, oh, that wasn't a law already, you know, like that. So that's kind of how it was for us. But for them, it's still new, is what I'm saying. So let's take a look and see if they at least are going to. Okay, my first question we'll look at least, are they going to make changes to the laws of how these farms are run? Let's look at that first, and then we'll see, does it look like they will make an actual law to shut it all down? Okay, so Spirit, will they at least enforce some kind of law to make these farms humane? You know, I feel like they will try to enforce that, but there's a lot of underground stuff. I'm seeing there's some underground stuff going on here as well. But of course, we have underground dog rings and fights like that here as well in the United States. But let's see. I'm seeing, of course, they'll always have that underground stuff, but I feel like I do see, they're showing me a picture of them trying to crack down on that. Let's see what the cards bring up for us. So yeah, so you're coming in here with the Knight of Swords. So I do see them coming in, cracking down on the inhumane practices of these farms. Oh. Sorry. Yeah. They're coming against, so it looks like there's some money, you know, there's money in this, right? So, but they, again, here, they still are bringing that in. So look at that. So let's take a look at this. So yes, so they are bringing in some new laws here, and they're going in to crack down. But what they're coming against is people in the money, okay? Money exchange, right? So that, you know, I was talking about the underground thing. So I'm using the word mafia, like, what other word do you use here? Because I don't want to say mafia, but there's people behind this money. It's a big money thing, okay? And so that's kind of what's blocking that, is that money, the people with the money. So they're going to have some battles and disappointments with that, with the Five of, oh, someone wanted me to say what cards were here. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Five of Cups, and then the Four of Pentacles here. Okay, so in that energy that's coming at the end here, it's kind of like an in my action spot with the Five of Cups here, and that's like, you know, this is looking to the past, having regrets and so forth, and not seeing seeing what positive things are coming forth in it. There are some positive changes coming, but it's not happening as fast as people want to see. There's a huge part of South Korea that's trying to stop these practices, like a large part. So they're going to need to continue to get their voices out there and continue to bring light to these practices and to make that change. And there's going to be some disappointments even in this, because the money, because of the people who are in charge. And like, I keep getting the word mafia, and I don't mean mafia, but whoever that group of people who are in charge of the underground stuff and the big money, just you always follow the money when there's something going on. And this is the same for them. So I see there's disappointments, but there's still hope. Okay, still hope with the Two Cups. So there's going to continue to even have to fight just to clean up the practices that are already in place with these farms. And again, there's going to always be those underground farms that are not treating their animals right, and the cruelties there, disgusting cruelty. And so even with those farms that are out in the open, not underground, they're still going to even have some rough time with making the changes there. But there is hope. That's what I'm seeing. Okay. So, yeah, there's probably if you are interested in this and helping their cause there in South Korea, there are organizations that are fighting this and that we can support. There are some activists here in the United States for it as well. Some movie stars or whatever, I don't know what you call them. There's a lot of activists within that population too, to bring light and funding to support and get these practices stopped. So if you want to support, do some research, do some Google, and find a reputable place to donate for that. Okay, now we want to see, will this ever be completely outlawed in South Korea? Let's check that question out. And again, I'm seeing the underground stuff that will never stop. But again, that happens here as well. So fight rings and the cruel stuff that we come across here as well. So I kind of see that will continue there as well. But let's see if it ever becomes a law of the land, outlawed. Okay. So we have the King of Swords there. So I see that. Yes, I do see that. With the High Priestess, the Lovers, and the Page of Wands, or the Knight of Wands, sorry. No. Yep, the Knight of Wands, sorry. Knight of Wands. So yes, it will become the law of the land at some point. So there is hope in the future here. Okay, so the King sits here in the truth, sitting in the truth. You feel safe with them and with the lovers here coming this way. So there will be a uniting of that desire and the higher consciousness coming in here with the king of swords, bringing in that justice and that truth. And yeah, it will come into practice here with the Knight of Wands. So that is good news, that eventually that will happen. As far as when, I heard you ask that. So let's check that out. You know, timing is hard when you do cards and because, you know, in spirit, they don't really work with time well, but sometimes every once in a while we can get I mean, they don't, of course they work with time well. What I'm saying is their timeline in spirit is, time is now, time is then, it's all the same, right? So, so when we ask questions like, when is that going to happen? They're like, now? Like, you know, it's like, time is just different, okay? The calculation of time. Interesting. My cards just went out. Again, that means my battery is dying on that section. Hold on just a second. Sorry. I forgot to plug it in. Thank you for your patience. Okay. There we go. See? Voila. So timing. Let's get a timing card. Okay, so we have the 8. So the 8, it's not going to happen in 8 days. You have 8 months. I don't know if it would be that soon, since they're still just having trouble even just making that. So I'm saying within the next 8 years. I know that seems like a long time. It could be in August of some year. See, that's why I don't do timing. But anyways, you got an 8 there. We'll see what happens. I don't know what to say. Next 8 years. They're going to make a lot of progress. I do know that as they continue to work on it, and I do see it happening. And you have the 8. So for all of you who are prayer people, keep praying for this change. All right, guys. Thank you for stopping in. And please continue to post your questions. I love doing them and looking into some of these especially some of these other issues than what we're looking at on a daily. So blessings to you all, and I'll see you next time.